Hi guys, we're here to do another pick a card reading for what is your vibe? How are people perceiving you? What kind of energy do you just kind of give off to people? So we have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. The timestamps will be listed down below in the description box. If you guys need a minute longer to pick, go right ahead and pause the video. All right, those of you guys that picked pile number 1, you chose this key. If it can ever focus. In this tarot deck, this is going to be your reading. So what type of vibe do you give off to people? So I'm going to shuffle the cards real quick, and then we'll get right into it. If any of you are interested in bath bombs, soaps, and candles, check out my friend's website, Light Minded, down in the description box below. Thank you. Okay, pile number 1. What type of vibe do you give off? Well, as I was shuffling, I kind of started feeling like a lot of you guys, one of the vibes that you give off, it's kind of interesting because you kind of come off as this player. So people, when they first see you, what kind of comes to people's mind is like riches or abundance or money, or there's some kind of resource, or there's something about your energy that kind of gives off that you may actually have more, even if that's not the case. Like, say you're not really rich or anything, you do just kind of give off this little bit of this luxurious vibe. But also this person that's kind of like the jack of all trades. Like, you just seem to know or seem to have dabbled into a lot of different things. You seem like a well-rounded person, like you have your stuff together, you know. And I feel that a lot of people notice this about you. People enjoy your company, but what's very interesting is you kind of give off this free spirit, this free flow, this person that maybe you may have several partners, or you come off very flirtatious on average. So people look at you like you're this life of the party, that you're very flirtatious, but you're somebody that's really hard to tie down, to get you to actually commit to anything. So people kind of have this feeling about you that you're just kind of that person that, you know, you're like a good time, but don't expect to stay long, kind of an energy. So a lot of people kind of view you as a little flaky in that way. You guys do kind of come off like you are, when we think about this, I kind of get the feeling that you try not to come off very aggressive. You guys are very gentle with people, and the way that you try to talk to people or come like around people, there is this kind-heartedness about you that people see, that they really, really like about you. And people just feel like they can get close to you. So even though they feel like you will not commit, there is this sense of like they enjoy your company, they enjoy spending time with you, and they almost get this feeling that you won't just get angry for no reason, right? If somebody says something that's kind of triggering to you, it's not like you're just going to fly off the handle. Like, very rarely do you express that in a way. So people do feel like they can come and talk to you and have a good time with you. And there's just this energy about you that seems to be kind of like free flowing. Nobody can really capture you. You're kind of just like, it's almost like you're formless at times. People maybe don't know how to necessarily put you in a box. Like people might want to try and when they first meet you, they might want to actually like say, like, oh, this is how you are. They try to define who you are by putting you into certain like certain boxes and categories of like stereotypes. But you're so different that if anybody would just sit down and have a conversation with you, they would realize very quickly that the stereotype that they would perceive to put you in is actually not an accurate depiction of who you are. So you're very there is something weird because there's like a part of you that kind of comes off like a stereotype or comes off as like a type of certain type of people, and then when meeting you, you're like the complete opposite. Like for instance, when somebody would come and sit down and have a conversation, you do not look like a spiritual person. Maybe you don't wear crystals, or maybe you don't really show that you are a very spiritual person until somebody gets to actually know you. And then they're shocked that you actually have a lot of wisdom, or that you are this spiritual person, because maybe they pegged you as stuck up, or maybe even religious, or right. So there's something about you guys that is something that's kind of like a contrast. A lot of people see you as not having as many burdens. Maybe you don't really complain very much, or you don't try to show when you struggle. So a lot of people don't realize what type of burdens you have. Because I just get the feeling that a lot of you guys, you're in the process of healing yourself, working through yourself, trying to better yourself at this time. And people are seeing that it's almost like the way that you come across to people, you act like you're not injured. You act like you have no problems, no worries in the world. And again, we have that King of Wands and then the Queen of Wands. There's definitely this, it's almost like you've mastered your masculine and your feminine energy. So maybe you're very fluid in that way as well. So people get kind of caught off guard because they did not expect you to be like able to transition back and forth so effortlessly. So it's almost like this is just a very calming energy that I get from you guys. Some of the characteristics I feel, especially because a lot of fire here, if you guys are not Pisces or Sagittarius or air signs, I don't even mean to say air signs, but maybe fire signs, because I'm getting heavy Pisces and I'm getting heavy Sagittarius vibes here. So, but yeah, how people perceive you. People actually, when they get to know you, they start to see that you are actually really smart. A lot of people did not expect that from you. But I think it's because you guys you guys are actually probably like very good looking. There's something about you that a lot of people assume you're a player, or that you are a player. And you're just like this kind of happy-go-lucky person. I feel like you're very adventurous. You want to explore different things. You're the type of person that doesn't want to just stay in a rut. So you need to go out and explore something different, or read, or learn something new in order to like stimulate your mind. I feel like you guys maybe have an overactive mind. And so you need somebody that can keep that type of pace with you, like in conversations and like just on average. So a lot of people, when first meeting you, they don't expect that from you, but that is the vibe that you give off, is that you know more than meets the eye. Like there's definitely more to you. So people, maybe they may not know what it is at first. When first meeting you, they might assume, like, when they first meet you, again, like I said, they kind of want to stereotype you, put you in a category. And then when they kind of slightly get to know you a little bit, then they're like, wait a minute. And then they try to reevaluate where exactly in their mind they should put you. And then there is this sense of maybe there's more to this person that I don't realize. And then it kind of bleeds into like, this person is actually kind of smart. So it's almost like it's a gradual thing. that people start to notice about you. Maybe you are into philosophy, or you're into traveling, or into different cultures, or learning different things. And so it's just you don't come off like the type of person that would be interested in the things that you're interested in. So it just kind of like catches people off guard a little bit with the Neptune and dreams. And then I also just want to mention at the bottom we have the 12th house. So a lot of Piscean energy. I get the feeling that some of you guys, you do a lot of subconscious work, or they call it shadow work. Maybe you actually are very familiar with your unconscious mind. Like maybe you do meditations, or you do hypnosis, something like that, where you've learned to access that. And if not, again, there's something about you guys. Like, people don't really talk about this, but Pisces are very intuitive, right? But they're very artistic. I know enough Pisces to where I'm like, okay, there's a lot of art, like very artistic energy that Pisces can emit, and I feel like you guys do have that a little bit. Again, Neptune is a very watery planet, but it's also a very illusioned type of planet. It's kind of weird because everything gets murky in Neptune. So when your energy is kind of coming out to people, is there is more that meets the eye, but it's almost like the image that I'm getting is, when someone's in the water and then they start kicking up the dirt and the mud and the sand, and everything kind of gets hazy in the water. That's kind of how it is when when people first meet you. It's almost like the second they see you, they think they know who you are, and then they realize they know nothing. So there is this illusionment, but also this like sense of fantasy, because people can kind of basically project what they want. And so it's almost like, I don't know if you have a Pisces rising, or a Neptune in the first house for some of you, but that could be something, because I feel like people want to project onto you an image, but then they realize that that's not really you later on. So here we have challenge. I feel like a lot of you guys have faced a lot of diversity and a lot of challenges. So you guys have probably, say, like if you're a lot younger, you have probably gone through more challenges than certain people that are in their 50s or 40s, or, so it's like you guys have dealt with a lot of challenges. You've gone through a lot of things in your life, and it's starting to get you to work, like you've struggled a lot, to where you kind of now know more about who you are and what you want, because you've experienced so much of the things that you don't want. So when people come across you, they get this feeling from you that you know what you want, that you are aware of yourself, that you have maybe like it's kind of intimidating, because people oftentimes do not know what they want. And so when they come across you, and say, for instance, if somebody wants to date you, they'll try to date you, but like, you know what you want, and this person might not know what they want. So maybe they're like shooting in the dark, but they're hoping to date you or to get with you because they like what they see, but you're like deeper than that. You see things deeper than that. You want something that's more significant or meaningful, or because you face so many challenges, because you've dealt with such like low vibrations or lower ways of thinking with people, that you're realizing like boundaries is a given. So I feel like with these challenges, you guys have developed like a thicker skin. You guys have developed boundaries. You guys have worked through certain diversities that you never thought you would ever have to go through in your life. You could have had a lot of losses, a lot of setbacks. And people, they don't know your life story, but they can sense that. They can sense that there is something that you have gone through that changed you, that made you evolve. People can feel that. They can feel the sense of maturity. Especially with that Saturn, there's something you had to have learned in your past, something that has happened to you guys that has caused you to be a little bit more disciplined in yourself, to mature, to grow, to expand. And there's something about having to become more practical. Because you've faced such challenges, you had to learn to become a more practical person, and you've had to use the skills and the knowledge that you learned through trials and errors to get you to where you are. So it's kind of like when people meet you, the vibe that you give off is that you have boundaries and that you have a sense of like dignity about yourself, a little bit more respect and higher self-esteem than you probably did in the past. So as you've been evolving, you have kind of almost stepped into that disciplined energy and that more of that self-control, and people can see that and they can sense that about you. So a lot of people when they come across you may not there's a lot of people that almost want to give you respect because of your energy. So it's like, yeah, sometimes you may come across certain people that want to challenge your authority or challenge that energy that you have. But most of the time, when you come across people, people will show you some form of respect because you give off that self-control and that discipline. I also feel like you guys are not just somebody that wastes your time. So people can maybe sense that about you, is that maybe you're a little bit stingy when it comes to the time that you give because you have so much on your plate. So you guys kind of come off as very busy, but very energetic because of all of that fire. So you guys come off like, it's like it's almost as if it's an honor to know you, but chances are you won't really stick around, you know? So people feel that with you. They feel like, you know, you're there one night and then you're gone the next day, and it's like they'll never hear or see from you again. It's like that's kind of the vibe that a lot of people kind of get from you. With the second house here, a lot of you guys, you kind of come off a little materialistic. I think you guys maybe dress well, or the way that you invest in yourself, it kind of shows that you care about yourself, that there is a little bit of self-love there. So people can get that general vibe from you that you have maybe like more security, that you have material goods, that you have some kind of assets or possessions that maybe piques people's interest. You know, you give off that vibe, like I said earlier, that you are a little bit abundant, that you have something going for you. You know, you kind of come off a little bit like you're successful, or that you are on the brink of success, and people are feeling that. And so maybe people try to gravitate towards you because they can sense that, you know, it's almost like maybe you get that too from people. You can sense that people are only trying to get you for your money or for what you have more than who you are. So maybe you're a little bit standoffish as well with that second house, because there is that sense of being like maybe more in solitude. I think you guys are the type of people that when you show your face, everybody's all like, oh, hey, it's this person, and they're all happy to see you. And then when you're done, you want to go in hiding. Maybe you guys enjoy your alone time. So it's also kind of giving me that a little bit as well, is maybe you enjoy that alone time. You don't really like it when other people intrude upon that time. We also have here moon feelings. So I feel like a lot of you guys, you trust your gut instinct. You know, like you can feel when something is off. You guys are very in tuned with the energies around you, especially because Neptune is that very sensitive planet. So it does kind of like give off that psychic energetic vibes. Like you can feel people. It's almost like you're aware of people's intentions. You're aware if somebody is trying to use you or take advantage of you before they even do it. There's like this sense of you can just feel the energy around you. A lot of you guys, you give off a very nurturing energy as well. And so that's another thing that makes people gravitate towards you. But I also feel like at times you need to pull yourself back, and it's like you enjoy your privacy. But I feel like you meet people that try to pry into your life, like what you're doing, what's going on. And maybe that really drives you insane because you don't like people prying into your life like that. So we have the sixth house. So a lot of you guys right now are focusing on your work. You're focusing on your health. There is definitely like people feel like maybe you are, like I said, always busy or always doing something. like you have a full schedule, and there's always something about you guys that's always like doing something or creating something, or it's like you guys have this artistic side to you that maybe comes out at work. So people that are around you notice that you have like really like your artistic skills, but maybe even you might not notice it, right? Because sometimes, like, say if you have a job or you do something that's not really considered an art form, um, the way that maybe you go about your day and how you do it is. Maybe, like, for instance, you listen to music when you're at work and that gets you into the flow state and you're vibing with that. That is still very creative because you're taking that creative energy that you feel with the music and you're creating something that you enjoy doing or that you're doing in the moment. It kind of gets you more into that flow state. So, or, again, maybe the way you write or the way you message people, the way you talk to people, communicate to people, there's something there that does show a form of emotional intelligence, and shows that you do have a creative way of thinking. So even if you don't think that you're creative in the way that is like a traditional creativity, the way that you communicate, the way that you write, the way that you communicate with people is just, it's very creative. So we have create. Like I said, a lot of you guys, you're in the process of creating something right now. And that's in your energy field. When we're working on something and we're creating something, we start to embody that being. We start to embody the creation of being. And so people are always going to be very drawn to that because that is one of the most highest forms of energy or source that you can say. And so for a lot of you guys, you're in that state, in that flow right now where you're busy, you're working, you're focused. And because you're so focused on creating something, it makes other people interested in you. It makes other people wonder what you're doing because it's almost like you're locked into your own world right now, pile number one. And everyone around you seems to be very fascinated with what you're doing because you are so fixated or focused on it, or that you're in that state of being and of enjoying. You're enjoying your time right now. It's almost like I'm not getting any force with this energy at all. I'm not getting any type of pushing, force, resistance in your energy. It's like you guys are just going after what you think you want, going after what feels good to you. And it's like you're just in that process of creating, learning from your challenges, moving from those, and just keep on going. So it's like, it's very creative. We have just sing, and then we have keep dancing. So again, I don't know if you guys sing, play music, if you dance. It's just also interesting because at the bottom of the deck we have listen to music. So there's definitely something here about music or being very artistic. But when people think about you, they think about you in a very lighthearted way. A lot of people think about the creative side of you. Music is a big one, like whether you actually play music. Maybe you're just that type of person that has a huge playlist or that you're always listening to music. And so when people think about you, they associate you with that is music, like, oh yeah, so and so loves music, blah blah blah, this is what they like. So you guys are very artistic. That's the type of energy that you give off. And again, it's something about you guys have balanced that masculine and that feminine energy that makes you also very magnetic and makes you very interesting to people. So we also have here oppression, and then we have the arousing. So I feel like some of you guys maybe have had a dark childhood. You guys have gone through a lot of oppression or a lot of negative energy. And I think that people can sense that from you, which is another reason why maybe you're that free spirit, why you're that person that enjoys your freedom and wants to do what you want to do and kind of gives off that vibe of like, you can't really control me. I'm my own person. And it's like to be around me is a privilege. That's kind of the energy that you give off. But people can sense that there is something deeper below that is like some type of depression, or you just feeling that restriction, feeling kind of like maybe you've been punished a lot as a child, or you were cut off from love if you didn't behave a certain way. It's like there was something about you that it came from a very restrictive home, that people even first meeting you maybe can get that sense from you, that maybe that's why you're so standoffish. And if you think about it too, it's almost like you are fixated on yourself, and it's almost as though other people around you, maybe that's kind of, maybe you have like anxiety, and it's almost like that anxiety creeps in when you're around others, but when you're alone, maybe you feel that more of that relief. You feel more like you can be yourself. But when you're around others, the anxiety kind of comes back, and it's because I feel like whatever happened to you in your home growing up, it's almost like it suppressed you to behave a certain way that's not really authentic to you, but you do it in public because that's how you were taught to behave. So it's almost like you're running on that type of program. So people notice that. They notice that, like, when you're with a certain group of people, if you're really comfortable with them, you're a lot more open. If you're not very comfortable, you kind of just give off the same general vibe that you would with like a coworker or people that you just meet on the street. You know, you give them like a very traditional type of approach, if that makes sense. Like very polite, have manners type of energy. So with that arousing, a lot of people are shocked when they first meet you. They did not expect to meet somebody like you, because you kind of just seem like I said, you're one way, but you're actually another way. There's like several different sides to you, and it really throws people off because they did not expect to have that or to notice that about you. You guys are the type of people that kind of can wake people up from their realities. So when people see you go through your life, it's almost like maybe you've dealt with a lot of hate. Maybe you've dealt with a lot of people that maybe talk trash about you, or just, like I said, you've gone through a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges. People are noticing that about you, but they notice how there's something about you that is kind of like awe-inspiring, because you guys have this, like, the dynamic that you have in your energy is very resilient. You have a type of resilience to you. It's like if somebody beats you down, you won't stay down for too long, right? You'll get back up again. And that's the type of energy that you carry with you everywhere you go. And people can feel that. And so it really draws and magnetizes people to you, because people feel like you would be that steady rock, or you would be that person that they could rely on. So you kind of give off that type of energy. So you just come off very polite. You come off as a person that you are your own person, that you don't like people to tell you what to do. But you also you're not very combative about it either. If somebody is trying to get you to do something you don't want to do, you're not going to argue with them. You're not going to try and butt heads with them. You're like the type of person that walks away, or might even agree and then just not do it. You know, you're that type of person, pile number one. So that is the vibe that I feel that people get when they are around you. And you know, it's also interesting too, before I let you guys go, is we have here the attraction of opposites. So you guys have a very seductive magnetism to you. People are very, especially people of the opposite sex, are very drawn to you, pile number one. But again, it's just because you guys give off this, like, you know yourself, you're sure of yourself. There's like this sense of self-control and discipline you have. You guys are this like happy-go-lucky person. You're very fiery, you're very out there, and people absolutely love that energy about you. But again, it's like a lot of people, they are into you, but they feel like they can never have you. So that's really the vibe that you give off, pile number one. So I hope this resonates for you and helps you in some way. Have a great and wonderful day, pile number one. Thank you. Bye. All right, those of you guys that picked pile number two, if you chose this key or this deck, this is your guys' reading. So what type of vibe do you guys give off? How do people perceive you? So I'm going to shuffle the cards. If any of you are interested in bath bombs, soaps, and candles, check out my friend's website, Light Minded, down in the description box below. Thank you. All right, pile number 2. What type of vibe do you guys give off? So, pile number 2. I get a couple of things, but one of the things that I'm getting here is people, I do not take offense. Do not be triggered by this. I mean, you could do whatever you want, I guess, but people, when they first initially meet you, they kind of feel like a people pleaser is kind of that strong vibe that you give off. There was something about you guys that when you kind of come around people, they get that you are a little timid, that maybe you, it's like you dull down your shine to appease others, and people see that. They notice that. You guys have some kind of a codependency in your life, whether this is a connection. Maybe you do, like, maybe you smoke cigarettes or something, or you drink and you know that you need to like stop doing it, but you don't because it helps you cope. So there's something here where people associate you as codependent on a connection or a substance or something. So that's kind of the vibe that you may give off to people, is that you maybe are a little bit like addicted to something. A lot of people notice around you. This is something that I think is kind of interesting because people pay attention more to what you say and what you do more than your actual energy, because people are noticing that you give a lot to connections, but perhaps they are one-sided connections. You never really had a true balanced connection. And I think that growing up, that has been something that you've dealt with, and people can kind of get that sense from you that maybe you were like abused, or like you look like somebody that just, you didn't have very many good role models or good people in your life. And it's like people can get that sense from you that you are a kind and giving person, but maybe people take advantage of that a lot of the times. And so that's kind of what people think of when they see you, or get the vibe from you. A lot of people also can tell that there is something that you are holding on to internally inside yourself, that you don't let anybody else have. There's something about you guys that you seem like, I don't know, it's hard to explain because nobody really knows exactly what it is, but there's like this part of you that's, you hold on to something and it feels like something that you protect with yourself. Like you're very protective of something about yourself, whether that's like your inner child, or there's something here where like you have morals or values or something and you will never let them go. There's something here of like people can get this sense that there's something about you that you have a firm grasp about yourself, but you don't let anybody else know, or you don't let anybody else interfere with that, if that makes sense. So like, say for instance, like you have a moral code where you're like, I don't eat meat, I'm vegetarian, and people can see that, and like nobody can get you to eat meat. Even if they pay you money, you won't eat the meat, you know? You're that kind of person where there's something there that you hold dearly to you that is a belief, or a it's like, it feels more like an abstract, like a belief or something, or a thought that you have that you will not let go of. People can tell that you have not walked away from something in the past. So this is something where maybe people cannot get here's the thing, these people do not really know you. So the vibe that you give off is that you've gone through something that you haven't let go of yet. So people can get the feeling like maybe you're not over an ex, or maybe you're not over a situation where you have felt like, maybe you were taken advantage of. People can get that feeling from you, that you were a person that's been used or taken advantage of. So people can tell that, like, you kind of come off very protective of yourself, or very defensive. So that is the initial vibe that people get when they first come across you, is like, oh, this girl or this guy's a little standoffish, a little skittish. I don't really want to offend them, or, they kind of get like this feeling of, don't really want to step on your toes, but people can tell that you have a kind heart. There's something about you that, even though you've gone through some things, and again, nobody, these people that when they first initially meet you, they get the vibe that you've gone through things, they just don't know what type of things. So they're kind of making assumptions of like, oh, maybe this person, I don't really know what happened to him, but maybe this happened to him, or maybe that, or like people try to maybe rationalize why maybe you're a little bit closed off, or why you are a little standoffish with people. There's definitely something here where you guys are maybe the overgivers on average, and I think that unfortunately you've come across a lot of people that are willing to take advantage of that. And so that's kind of the energy that you give off, is just you attract a lot of like vampires and a lot of people that have done you wrong. And so the people that do come across you that are good people, they try to um kind of almost mind their own business, but they also try to like see if you're okay, or there's something about you guys that kind of give off the energy of distress. Like, I don't know if you guys have been stressed, pile number 2. But people can kind of feel that you've been stressed, or that you have a lot on your mind. There's something about you guys that, yeah, this just sounds so negative. And I wouldn't say that it's all negative. It's just, I think people, they can tell that you've gone through a lot, and they just don't know how to help you um, without offending you, or without, upsetting you in a way, because you've been maybe taken advantage of so many times that when good people come around, you don't know how to receive them or to handle them. So that's kind of the vibe that people get from you. We have here semi-sextile allowing. So I feel like a lot of you guys, you hold on to this type of hope, even though like maybe you've gone through difficult cycles that forced you guys to grow and forced you guys to evolve. You still chose to work on yourself and working through these issues that you have. Maybe perhaps you're aware that you can be a little standoffish, or that you can be a little defensive when you don't need to be, and maybe that is something that you have tried to break the pattern of. Um, Another thing too is I feel like you guys have had ups and downs when it comes to your possessions, or the things that you've owned, or money, and people notice that. People will notice, like, maybe in the past you had a worser financial situation, but now things are going to be more in the up. So it's almost like for people, they can tell that your luck is changing, basically. And at the bottom of the deck, we also have the Wheel of Fortune in the upright. So people can tell that your fortune is changing, that things are going to start to look up for you. That's the energy that you give off, because again, you guys give off this dense energy of like working through some childhood wounds, working through some serious stuff. And maybe that is just kind of being reflected in your aura. But at the same time, people can tell that you're in that process of going through that transformation. It's like there is this, you having to work through dense energy, but as you're working through it, there's that potential of the upswing, and people can feel that. And so they are acknowledging that, your good luck is coming. It's coming. And people are noticing too that you're putting in, I think a lot of you guys, maybe you have spent more time on your physical appearance, or that you have invested more into yourself now. So I get the sense that you are on the process of like this self-love and self-healing journey. And maybe, again, this has been a touch and go situation for you, pile number 2, and you've had to, maybe there are times when you've done things that that wasn't good for you, and you've tried to correct that. You've worked through that. You've done what you can to allow yourself to heal. So it's almost like you guys have more self-awareness now than you did in the past. So you are like transforming. You are creating. With that with Gemini, Gemini signifies butterflies. It's almost like you guys are coming out of that cocoon, but at the current stage, you guys are like the goo. You're not you're not really a caterpillar and you're not really a butterfly yet. You're kind of in that transformational process right now. And so people, when they see your energy, it's coming off kind of unstable at the moment. And it's only because you're not on one solid vibration, if that makes sense. You're fluctuating because you're healing and you're letting certain things go. So you're kind of like changing frequencies, and it's almost like some people, they can kind of tell that you're going through some things. You're transforming. You're going through some life-changing stuff right now. I don't know if you guys are like what's going on in your life, but people can definitely sense that there is a lot going on in your life that you are in the process of healing and working through. A lot of people see you as a very nurturing person. They see you as a giver. They see you as somebody that wants to give. But people can also kind of see you a little bit as this closed off person at times as well. So you give off this energy of, oh, I want to give, I want to love, I want to be there for people. But then there's also this part of you that kind of, like I said, dims your light or really holds yourself back in some ways, where maybe you don't really express yourself in the way that you know you should be expressing yourself. So there's definitely this push and pull energy between you. And there's this dynamic that it's almost like a part of you wants to be accepted by others, but there's also a self-belief or a limiting belief that maybe you are not lovable. Like, if it's like you want other people to love you, but you feel like there's this limiting belief that you're not lovable. So there's this contrast between the two right now. There's this like resistance, and people can kind of sense that about you. It's like you're in that process of healing and loving yourself, but it's having to let go of these misbeliefs about you're not lovable, and that most people, if you be who you truly are, then other people will not accept you or love you. So a lot of you guys right now, I think you guys are searching for higher knowledge. You guys are searching for higher awareness. You guys all could be Geminis, Cancer, Sagittarius, Aries, Taurus. Just to name some people, just to name kind of some of the energies that I'm seeing here. But I definitely get that a lot of you guys are working through some type of misconception about yourself, some kind of belief that you've had about yourself. And it's like you are changing that. So it's almost like you guys are going on your own voyage of figuring out who you are and what you want to be. And it's like you are starting to come to the conclusions about who you are and why you're so unique for, because it's almost like maybe you guys dulled down parts of yourself that was very unique, and people could kind of get that general vibe about you. But now it's like it's kind of slowly coming together. So right now, pile number 2, you guys are going through like kind of an intense energy. So your energy around you is very intense. And I feel like people can sense that about you. Like they can sense your stress, that you're going through some things, that you're in the process of letting things go and moving on. And so it's like, but it's not an accurate depiction of who you are or your actual energy of like your true vibration. It's just, again, you're healing and working through some things right now. And so your energy is kind of like all over the place. We also have here square, so challenges. Like I said, people can kind of get the sense that you're going through some things. There's definitely some frustration going on in your life. There's hurt that you are healing. There's hurt that you are processing. There have been struggles that you've had to overcome. There's definitely something here about, just dealing with the tensions of life, because there is definitely this tension going on in your life right now. And it's like you're kind of, like I said, you're not really a caterpillar, you're not really a butterfly, you're just kind of transitioning into out of one into the other. So we have here again opportunity sextile. So you have semi-sextile and we have sextile. So a lot of you guys at this time, people can really, like I said, sense that, you're at the upswing. Things are going to start changing for you. Things are going to start moving in your life, because maybe for a while, pile number 2, you guys have just had this stagnancy or just this kind of like you're not really where you want to be. And And you've had a lot of relationships that I feel like had a lot of off and ons or ups and downs. And a lot of people are shocked that maybe you guys are now taking time out for yourself and you're learning to heal yourself. Maybe you guys used to be the person that would jump to like relationship to relationship. And now maybe you're like, no, I'm not doing that. Maybe I'm going to just stay single for a little bit. Like, you're shocking people by the way that you're trying to heal yourself, by the way that you're trying to improve yourself. People around you that know you are shocked because it seems like you are kind of breaking out of a certain type of character or a certain type of dynamic that maybe they've seen you in for a while. So again, there's like some kind of codependency that people associate you with, and it's like maybe that's what you're trying to break now, and people are like kind of right now curious to see what you're going to do next. So we have here reach out. I feel like you guys are the type of people that people can reach out to. And that's the vibe that you give off. People know that they can reach out to you and that you're going to be there and you're going to help them. You're going to say yes to them. People just know that about you and say yes. See, people know that. People also like to be around you because you're the type of person that kind of gives off that fun vibe as well. So even though, again, you guys are kind of going through like a rocky patch at the moment, pile number 2, I get the feeling that you guys are still that person that people can laugh with, have fun with. If people are having a bad day or upset, you're like the person that they call and they tell you all their problems to, because you're just that person that is like a good listening ear. You give more. So you're just like that person. Anybody that's in your life, they always know that they're going to receive more from you, right? They always, like, you could get like these little acorns, but you're giving them like the bigger acorn, right? Like, you guys give more. And people around you appreciate that. Of course, some people around you want to take advantage of that, but I just get the feeling that that's the general vibe that you give off, is that you're very warm, considerate, passionate person, but that if anybody ever needed help, even a stranger, if a stranger would reach out, you would help them. You would give back to them. And that's the vibe that people get from you, is that you're kind-hearted and that you're genuine, but at the same time, it's just there's something about you that it feels like you're going through a lot at the moment. So I feel like for a lot of people, that's kind of the general energy that they get from you. They feel like they can trust you. They feel like they can maybe ask you for things and that you're going to help them. So you guys just kind of come off like a type of person that would be nice to have in your corner, somebody that people can call upon when they know that they need help, that you're always going to be there, because not everybody in their life can they just call and have someone just show up like you can. So I feel like for a lot of you guys too, at the bottom of the deck we have see the light. I think a lot of you guys are starting to kind of see yourself in a better light. But again, seeing the light, the thing I got from that is like finally starting to see rewards coming in, starting to finally see things that are going to benefit you, because I feel like some of you guys have, like I said, lost a lot or gotten taken advantage of, and people, they can sense that from you. They can understand why you're a little standoffish, but at the exact same time, there is this sense that maybe you are becoming more abundant, and people can feel that and they can sense that, and they're like, it feels like pile number 2 is becoming a little bit more like things seem to be more flowing in their life, because again, you've had a lot of challenges, but you guys are starting to allow things to flow in, and now it's like you guys are going to start seeing new opportunities, new things are going to come in. It's like this semi-sextile. It's like little things, like little blessings, little stuff is starting to trickle into your life to help you resolve these challenges so that you can gain new opportunity. And that's how I'm seeing it. And I think that's the vibe that you are kind of giving off, is that you are almost becoming more can't talk. You're almost becoming more resourceful. So people are like, you're catching the attention of people that are maybe oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot talk. I can't say it, guys. I'm going to try though. Opportunists. Why was that so hard? Opportunists. You guys maybe attract people like that because they see you as like that ticket or that like meal ticket, right? But it's like maybe with this, especially because again, something about your view, like you're taking care of yourself better, that And the more that you work on your self-love, the more you work on yourself, you're going to start setting better, healthier boundaries. And I get the sense too that maybe people around you are noticing that. And that maybe that's another reason too is that's causing you stress is maybe you're getting into fights with people because they can't abuse you or use you in the way that they once did because you're starting to grow more self-esteem, which leads to you building more boundaries with people so that you can protect your energy and yourself. And people are not really liking that. We have here as well completion. I feel like a lot of you guys are finally, like I said, closing up a cycle, or you guys are just going to start seeing better rewards. So it's almost like you guys are finally getting to that end goal, that peak, that where you're trying to go. There's definitely some kind of victory coming in your life, and people are noticing this. People are taking note of the things that you do. Pile number 2, you guys could have been that silent people that worked behind the scenes. You worked really hard for the things that you want, and now it's coming in, and people are starting to see it on the physical. Because in the past, maybe people are like, oh, nothing seems to be happening for pile number 2, and then all of a sudden, you just kind of come off, all of a sudden it's like, say for instance, like you're at the bottom, right? Your whole life you've been struggling, you've been dealing with all these terrible people, constantly being used, always giving more, straight to you're the one that's now receiving things, people are now praising you, you have better opportunities. It's almost like you came from the bottom and you are rising to the top. You're starting to actually become like the cream of the crop, right? We have here keep still. So a lot of you guys, what you need to do right now is like you are learning to detach, right? You're learning to detach from things that are not serving you, but there is definitely still something in your past that you haven't quite let go of that maybe was a loss for you, pile number 2. And it's almost like telling you to meditate or to be still or to learn to accept yourself more, because I think that maybe you beat yourself up. So it's almost like this is a message to just give yourself a little bit more self-love, self-care, and giving yourself forgiveness. Like, don't need to beat yourself up over a past mistake. It's okay to let it go. We all make mistakes, and mistakes only just help us grow and help us get to be a better person. So it's like you needing to learn to not beat yourself up over something that now you cannot control. So I think that that is something as well for you guys there. But I definitely get that you guys are in the process of healing and working through things. People are noticing that you have a better composure about yourself as well, that you are a little bit more calm. You're not as angry or upset or as like just, you're kind of starting to relax more into your body. I think that maybe in the past you've struggled with that. Maybe you had a hard time really sitting in your body, but now you are starting to become that. So we have the taming power of the great. You guys are starting to harness your power more and more. Like literally, pile number 2, you guys came from this people pleaser. And this is something too, I think that a lot of people are noticing this, are people from your past, pile number 2. Maybe you just came off as this people pleaser, a person that gets used, a person that doesn't have any boundaries, no self-respect, to a person that has dignity, to a person that has more respect for yourself, to a person that sets boundaries, to a person that is learning to, it's almost like you're building up your character, pile number 2. You're building your character up. And you are starting to you're starting to realize that you have more potential in you than you thought. And people are starting to see that you are realizing that about yourself. So people always knew that there was potential to you, but a lot of people are not really aware of, your potential because you kind of, like I said, dimmed your light for such a long time for other people and always trying to give to others that maybe you never really gave too much to yourself. So you were really lacking in self because you were giving it all out to others. And now you're starting to harness that great power. It's almost like you're turning your strengths, like you're thinking about, like, for instance, you're changing your character, right? You're changing the fundamental core of who you are. And it's like that is your strength. Your strength is that you are changing into a person that will be more well respected, or more a person that actually has more to give to others. You know, you kept pouring into empty cups, but your cup was already basically empty, so there wasn't much for you to give to others. And now that you've focused more on yourself, you're starting to set better boundaries. You're noticing that there are people that are angry with you, but you're also noticing that there are more people that are more appreciative of you as well. So again, pile number 2, you are very transitioning out of certain phases of your life right now. And so your energy is, like I said, just kind of wobbly or all over the place, but there is this sense of potential there, and people can feel that. They'll be like, oh, I don't really know how I feel about pile number 2. They seem like they're going through a lot, but there's potential there. Like, that's how people are viewing you at this time. So we also have here oppression, restriction, right? I feel like you guys felt very restricted in the past. You felt very restricted from certain situations and the challenges that you faced. And I feel like a lot of you guys are reaching out at this point where you're no longer going to allow yourself to feel this way. You're kind of getting rid of people that are draining your energy. Like, maybe you used to, for instance, allow somebody that you knew. You're like, oh, like, let's just say like this, okay? Like, oh man, it's Lindsay. She's calling me, but she's always complaining. She's always saying this. She's always doing that. I just don't think I want to do it. So you just choose not to answer the phone. Lindsay's mad that you didn't answer the phone, but you also knew that she was going to go on and on and on and on and on about a situation that she's not going to change, that she's not going to do anything about, and you're just sitting there giving her your energy instead of you taking in that time to go do something that you enjoy. So it's like, you know what I mean? You're starting to kind of cut back on people and places and circumstances that are kind of like draining you more than are giving to you. So you guys are really kind of starting to see that more in yourself, and you're starting to let go of things that aren't serving you anymore. And so your vibration is rising higher, but you're still at an odd phase right now. Like I said, that you're kind of like in between phase. And so your energy is kind of fluctuating back and forth. So currently people are not really repelled from you, but they're not really drawn to you either, because they can still sense that you're a good person. But there's still definitely something here about like, you're going through some things, you're healing some things, so people are just kind of giving you that space. A lot of people are giving you that space right now. So if you're feeling alone and you feel like nobody's really talking to you, and you feel like what's going on, like all of a sudden all my friends disappeared, maybe it's because they can kind of get that general sense from you that you need that alone time, or that they, or they just seem to, it's weird. It's almost like, or their life got so busy, and it's almost like you needed this alone time. You needed this time to heal yourself, to work through this so that you can move up to the next level. Because pile number 2, you guys are moving to the next phase of life. You're changing into you're transitioning into a different life, different purpose. You're going to, you know what I mean? Like, you have to let go of the things that aren't serving you, because how can we receive more if we have too much already? So some of you guys, you're going to have more money. You're going to have better relationships. Things are just going to flow to you much easier because you allowed yourself to go through these challenges, and you allowed yourself to heal through these challenges. So at the bottom of the deck here, we have holding together, union, cooperation, solidarity, membership, teamwork, participation, making a choice. See, and this is what I'm saying here too, pile number 2, is I think that you guys are in this process of no longer accepting leeches or people that are parasitic to you. You're starting to choose people that are going to serve you more, that are going to give back to you more, and that is going to give you the love and the appreciation you need. And again, there's just something about your guys' energy that at the moment, you are transitioning into a new phase, but new opportunities and new things are kind of coming towards you. So there are some people that are kind of watching you on the sidelines, seeing what you're doing, because they might want to take advantage of you or use you. So not to like make anyone paranoid, but just kind of pay attention to that, because I feel like you guys are on this verge of really healing yourself. So you need to let go of people that are draining you or people that are holding you down, because you guys are in that phase of actually growing. So it's actually really beautiful energy, the vibe that you're giving off, because again, some people, they can sense that there's some codependencies that you're breaking. A lot of people do not know what's going on in your life. They just know you're going through a hard time. But people can sense that you're genuine, that you're a good, caring, loving person. But also, people can tell that there's potential there, that you are on the verge of something great. Something is about to just peak for you. And people can feel that. So that's the energy that you guys are giving off. That's the vibe. So I hope that this resonates for you and helps you in some way. This one is definitely an interesting one. I did not expect it to go this way, but hey. But yeah, that's what I have for you guys. So thank you. Have a great and wonderful day. Bye. All right, those of you that chose pile number 3, this key or this deck, this is going to be your guys' reading. So what kind of vibe do you guys give off? What kind of energy? How do people perceive you? I'm going to shuffle the deck, and I will be right back. If any of you are interested in bath bombs, soaps, and candles, check out my friend's website, Light Minded, down in the description box below. Thank you. All right, pile number 3. What type of vibe do you guys give off? Well, this is interesting. So for the last 2 piles, it kind of felt more like strangers. The second pile was like strangers, but some people that they know. The first pile felt more like strangers viewing them, right? The vibe. But with you guys, strangers would not know this. Strangers would not understand what this is. This is the vibe that you give off to people that know you, people that are aware of you, people that have observed you for a while now, okay? So, because you guys, I think, have changed a lot, and I think you guys have gone through a lot, and the people that are around you are noticing these changes and this vibe that you're giving off now, this new energy that you are emitting. So pile number 3, I think for a lot of you guys, you have been very depressed, very out, very down, very hard on yourself, because I get the sense too that you couldn't make something in the past work. There was something that you worked really, really hard to making it work. And I kind of get the feeling that it had another person involved. Maybe you were dating somebody, maybe you were involved with somebody. I get the feeling that you tried everything in your power to invest into this person. You did as much as you could, but I get the sense too that this person could have left you kind of hanging a lot, questioning yourself a lot. And you know, people around you, they noticed this. They noticed that how this connection in the past really affected you. And I feel like this is still kind of an ongoing thing. Now, I don't know, for instance, if maybe say you were in a group, right? Maybe you guys dated somebody, but maybe you guys had mutual friends, and these are your mutual friends observing you, or maybe you have friends that just observed you when it came to a particular person. However it happened, pile number 3, people have watched you had a fallout with another individual, and people are realizing like how much this really impacted you. So for years now, after that incident has occurred, say like, you know, you lost your passion, you lost your desire for life, this part of you kind of felt like, you know, this was really hard for you, you guys. This was really hard for you. You tried to make something work when there was just no way that it was going to work. So people around you, they noticed this about you. They noticed how this individual or this situation has impacted you. So for years, perhaps you guys have kind of waited for this person to come back. You know, you just focused on your money, you focused on your resources. But you're still in your head about this situation. You haven't quite let go of the past. And I think people around you are aware of that, right? The vibe that you give off to people that know you personally know that you're not over what happened here. You're still fixated on what went wrong. And I think it's because you could have had a divorce, you could have had a separation. There's something here where this was a separation of a family or separation of homes, resources, finances. So people around you that care about you, pile number 3, they notice this about you. They notice that, you know, you've gone through a lot with this person in particular, but you're still holding yourself high. You're still this emperor in their eyes. I get the feeling too that energetically, you guys, people can tell that you've been heartbroken energetically, but people, you don't talk about it maybe, or you don't really express it that much. So it's kind of like this grief that people can feel from your aura, from your energy field, but they cannot, they kind of get the people that do know you understand why that's there. The people that don't know you question that. It's like that's a little bit of a mystery to them, right? So you guys have that mystery to you about your past because of, people that don't know you. They can sense that there's something there. Now, pile number 3, I feel like your aura right now, you're changing. And the way I feel that you're changing is there is this part of you guys that are starting to kind of, I wouldn't say like, I would never say that you would never like grown up, right? That you know what I mean? Like, I never said you would be immature in your energy, but maybe there was a point in time where you were just so fixated on things needing to be a certain way that now you're realizing, like, okay, I just need to accept the situation. So people are viewing you, your closest friends are viewing you moving on from heartbreak, which of course is ironic because of the key, right, with the hearts. But yeah, people are noticing that you're moving on. The thing that I think you guys are fixated on right now is your health and your work. You guys have been focusing on trying to get your work up. And again, that's what I'm saying. I feel like you guys maybe have waited on this person, and you've been building up your pentacles. But then it's like there's a part of you that knows that, if this person's not willing to really work with you in the past, why would they be willing to work with you now, even if you had money? So, you know what I mean? Like, there is a part of you guys that this is where you're going back and forth on right now. There is a key pivot moment, I think, that you're going to realize you're going to release this individual or release this situation. But I get the sense that right now, currently, pile number 3, maybe you're still going through this. Maybe you're still experiencing pain or disbelief about what this person could have said or done or did to you. There was definitely this sense of betrayal, but you keep yourself up over something that you can't control. And I think you guys blamed yourself and here's the thing, okay? It takes 2 people, right? I'm not saying that you have, you can wipe your hands clean of the situation. You did nothing wrong. But, I feel like you guys overthink. You overly blame yourself. And maybe it's almost like maybe you try to work things out so much that it's almost like that there's no point at this time, because no matter how many times you've tried, it just doesn't work. But you're frustrated because, and I get this sense too, pile number 3, the energy, the vibe that you're giving off is that you're frustrated with life, you're frustrated with this situation, and it's like there is a part of you that maybe you're ready to date again, but then there's that hesitation because of past pain and past hurt. So people around you are noticing that, especially the ones that are closest to you. People are noticing that you're trying to balance out your work life and your personal life. And there's something about you guys that I feel like you're on this mission to bettering yourself, because I think that for some of you guys, you realize, maybe if you, like, it's hard to explain. I think that you guys went down this healing journey, or you guys started to go down this path because you wanted to heal yourself to be better for this person. But it's almost like now, pile number 3, everything that you've done so far to try to get this person to come back to you, it's almost like you're realizing that it's almost like at one point or another in this time period, pile number 3, you're going to say, do I really even want to be with this person? Did I ever really love this person? Like, you're going to start asking yourself questions, because I think in the past, you used to be like, when you would go on a date, you'd be like, oh, do they like me? I hope they like me. Or, oh, I wonder how this made them feel. Instead, now you're like, do I like them? Do I want to be with them? Instead of you trying to appease them, now you're kind of like, well, how do I feel about you? What are you doing for me? What vibes are you giving off? Like, you're changing, you're evolving. And I feel like a lot of you guys, you have definitely um like the people that are around you, they see you as somebody that you can get along with, right? A lot of the people around you do not blame you for however this situation went down. At least your friends don't blame you for however this situation went down with like an ex or somebody that they know, because they understand that you did everything you could. So it's almost like these people see that you beat yourself up over something that you couldn't even control, over a situation that showed that nobody really loved you or cared about you. Like, you know what I mean? So it's almost like you're kind of coming to that conclusion, like, huh, this person didn't really love me. This person didn't really care about me. And it's almost like you're evolving past that. And it's like maybe you had a different viewpoint about this connection, and now you're seeing it in a different way, and that's what's going to change it, because it's getting out of this disappointment pile number 3. You guys are, the energy, the vibe that you're giving off is disappointment, feeling very disappointed in love, feeling like you don't have what you want. And again, it's all up in your head about something in the past that you can't control, and it's almost like you just have to learn to let that go. You have to learn that, it's time to evolve. And with Uranus here, it's almost like Uranus is there to kind of shake things up a little bit. It's unique, it's different, it's quirky, it's just a different way of reacting. So I get this, pile number 3, okay? If this, I'm hoping that this makes sense, because I feel like at this point I'm rambling. The person or the people, so I feel like there was a person, right? Let's say an ex. You could have got divorced. You could have separated. What you thought you wanted in that person is actually perhaps not really what you want in a partner. So you're thinking, oh, but I need this person. Oh, I want this person. But this, it's mostly because I feel like this person wounded your ego. This person could have said and done things that triggered you, that made you feel lower than, that you took that as a blow to your self-worth and your self-esteem. And so that's why you have such a hard time not letting somebody go. It's not, and I get the sense too, like you did genuinely care about them and love them, but to what degree can love really heal a situation when no one's not really willing to appreciate you or to do that for you? So when that Uranus is coming in, what I'm getting here, pile number 3, is that you thought you wanted a specific type of trait or a specific type of person, but the person that might be more suitable for you maybe has more of that Aquarius or more of that kind of goes against the grain. So the type of person that you might actually be more suited for you is definitely not this type of person. It's like there's something out there for you that's better and way more, that's going to actually like almost meet your needs and give what you need. But right now in this moment, you guys are juggling back and forth between they never loved me, they never cared about me, they loved me, but what about this? What about that? And you're in your head. And I feel like you've been in your head for months to years about this situation. And people around you that are closer to you have acknowledged this. They have seen this. They are worried about you in that way. But people are also noticing around you that you're starting to get out of your own way. You're not as depressed. You're not as worried. You're not as stressed. You're starting to go out more with them, or you're starting to do more again. But maybe in the past you were a little more closed off, right? So you guys are kind of coming into a new situation here where I feel like you guys are going to start being able to get out more and have more fun and do more. So your energy is coming from heartbreak and really sad and grieving to happiness, to joy, to living life again, and to explore your options and what's coming towards you. We have here complexity. So there has been something about this situation. I don't think you ever got true closure, pile number 3, because I think that this person left mysteries, left puzzles, left things for you that, like, maybe this person lied to you a lot or could have said or done things that just didn't add up, right? Nothing really truly added up to what this person was doing or saying, and so that bugged you, and maybe that's been always bugging you, and you just like, you never got a straight answer, so it just keeps irking you. But it's almost like it's almost like your brain is going to have to learn to let it go, or to come up with, like, sometimes here's the thing too, sometimes it's just the simplest of things. Sometimes it's just the simplest answer. It's the simplest thing. Like, whatever comes to your mind. Like, if you would have been like, oh, yeah, my ex cheated, that makes sense. But instead, maybe you're like, well, I don't really know. There was no proof that they did. And maybe you keep going back and forth between, did they cheat? Did they not cheat? And instead, just accept face value. You know what? They did. You know, too many sketchy things in this relationship happened, too many things that are left up in the air that makes you question it. It probably did happen, right? If you have to sit there and ask the question, chances are it probably happened. You know, and I think that that's a way of helping you clear your mind, a way of helping you adjust to this situation, because I feel like for a lot of you guys, it's just the not knowing the whole story that gets to you, and it's like learning to have to let that go. And I think that that's where you're at that verge of right now, or if not, you're coming into that. And that's what people are seeing. They're seeing that you are starting to let go of something in the past that has really held you back for a really long time. So we have here Destiny in the North Node. You guys are actually getting out of your comfort zone. And this is what I meant by, you know, this person, there might be somebody that's going to come in, pile number 3, that might be the complete opposite of your type, or the type of people that you think that you would be romantically interested in. And perhaps this person just blows your world and blows your mind, and you had no idea that somebody like that existed. You know what I mean? Because you're getting yourself out of that comfort zone, because you're moving more into your North Node, you are starting to meet new opportunities, new situations. With that 8th house here, we have that intimacy. The 8th house is having the intense intimacy, right? It is actual, like, you know, like the 5th house can be more casual sex, while the 8th house is more intimate, right? It's more of a deeper connection sexually. And I think that is where you're going to start changing is, you know, this person that perhaps you had in the past that hurt you, it maybe if you really look back and really think about it, pile number 3, you might realize how surface leveled that entire relationship was. Even maybe when it came to sex or anything in that department, maybe you're realizing a lot of it was very surface leveled. But it's almost like, because you're getting out of your comfort zone, because you're choosing to say, you know what, I'm just going to let this go. Things happen for a reason. This person's not in my life for a reason. I'm just going to accept it and move forward. It's almost like right when you start to do that, right when you start to heal that in that regard, boom, it's almost like somebody or something comes in, triggers you, and heals you on a more deeper, intimate level. So your energy is changing, and again, situations around you are going to start changing, and people around you that are close friends, people that know you, are really shocked, because they're like, wow, I did not expect pile number 3 to get somebody like that, to date somebody like that, or to go out at bars, or to go out and do these things. You know, maybe you guys are kind of a little bit of shut-ins, or maybe you guys always have a specific routine that you don't really break. And now it's almost like you're going to start breaking that routine a little bit more, because you're living life more, you're going out, you're enjoying yourself more. And I think it's because you're starting to finally say, you know, enough is enough. I can get in my mind all day about this situation, about this loss, about what I lost, but you didn't realize what wisdom you gained from that, what experience you gained from that. And that's what's going to help you actually evolve for the next person. So it's almost like you guys are starting to change. You're no longer going to be holding yourself back. Maybe instead of being so much in your head, now you're going to be more in your body. You're going to be enjoying yourself more, instead of being always up in your head, anxious and always so worried. So we have here, I'm sorry. I think that for some of you guys, everybody around you, they knew that you were sorry about whatever happened between the two of you in this situation. The people around you observe that, they can tell that you were genuinely like trying to heal this connection, that you were genuinely sorry for whatever part you played in this connection with this other person. But I get the sense too that this other person, they were not really sorry. They were not really giving you what you needed. And this individual could have just walked away in a way that was maybe even considered cruel or mean or hasty. And maybe, again, you carry that energy with you. You carry the energy of regret. You carry that energy of sorrow. And your friends, your family members, they've seen this, and it breaks their heart for them to see you like that. But it's like, again, you are learning to figure out who you are in that process. This connection helped you kind of break out of certain paradigms that you were in, certain types of like frame of mind. You know, maybe you thought that relationships needed to go one way. Maybe you always thought that relationships need to be forever. And when this person broke things off, maybe it just really like shocked you and put you into like a reality check. And maybe that was a really hard thing for you to kind of reel back from. Everybody experiences that. And I feel like you guys have just gone through that rough period, and people are seeing that and they are aware of that. But because you've gone through that rough period, it's almost like it forced you to kind of get out of the crowd. It forced you to kind of figure out who you really are, because we have step away from the crowd. So you're realizing that just because everybody else is going one direction doesn't mean that you need to. So again, this connection kind of forced you to break out of your comfort zone, because you thought, oh, I need a relationship that looks like this. And that relationship failed. And you were like, wow, I expected my relationship to look like that, but it failed. It was miserable. It was terrible. I didn't get the love I needed, the support I needed. And so you were confused and you were worried and you were like, well, why did this fail? What did I do wrong? When really in actuality, it just wasn't meant to be. And, you know, again, two people played a part in this situation, and you can't take the full blame for the whole situation. You just can't. So it's like you're coming to that conclusion of, you know, you're healing your side of the street, you're clearing your side of the street, and you're allowing the trash that the other person left to stay. You know, you're just like, you know what, you're going to do, if you want to apologize, if you want to actually make something work, then that works for me. But if not, then I have to move on. I can't allow you to hold me back anymore. And that's why you're getting out of that comfort zone. That's why you're moving forward. And again, you're stepping out of the crowd. You're starting to figure out who you are. And you started figuring out who you are because this person broke your heart, because you fell into that type of a connection. So what we have here, lend a hand. I think of the type of person, you know, your friends, your family, they will always say you're that person that would lend a helping hand. You're always there for other people. And so people know that, they know your character. Pile number 3. I feel like you're around people that have seen you go through this really terrible situation, and they knew your character. They knew that you would not hurt a fly. They knew that you were the type of person that would care for others, that would be there for others. And because of that, it's like a lot of people don't blame you for this situation, but they see you blaming yourself. And so it's like now people are realizing, like, you know, maybe you have somebody that's coming into your life, pile number 3, that's going to lend you that hand. And that's what I mean by that Uranus card and that Libra. I don't know why. I just keep feeling like with specifically the Uranus card, that there's going to be somebody that's going to just show up, that's going to give you faith again on relationships, right? Because you guys have been healing by yourself and been working through this by yourself, it's almost like all of a sudden someone's going to pop up and you're going to be like, this is the person of my dreams, or this is the person I want to be with. And it's almost like things start to make sense to you. This person's going to help you in some way, and it's just going to all click and everything's going to make more sense. So we have to change the scenery. I feel like a lot of you guys too, maybe, you know, you needed to move out of wherever, like say for instance, if you two lived together in this connection, it was a terrible connection, you broke up. It's like you needing a change of scenery, needing to move out of where you two live together, or needing to move out of the city. Like maybe there's something where you just need to change up your environment a little bit. And I think that people maybe tried to do that with you. Maybe people have tried to get you to get out of your comfort zone and you wouldn't do it. And now it's almost like you are starting to do it on your own, and people around you are kind of shocked because they're noticing that you're changing from the vibe and the energy of depressed, sad, but still a loving, caring, fun person to, I know who I am. I know what I want. I want to go do this. I want to have fun. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to explore. I'm going to go do this, do that. And it's like you're more open to connections. You're more open to things. And people are shocked because they don't know why you transitioned into that, right? It's like one day you were sad and sulking, and the next day you're on top of the moon and you're happy and you're excited. And then all of a sudden you meet this person and it's like things start to make more sense for you. So pile number 3, it's almost like the vibe that I'm getting from you is like people around you, they notice you've been through heartbreak. They notice that you've been hurt in the past, that you've been wounded and injured. But at the exact same time, you're healing from it. You're growing from it. And because you're healing and you're growing from it, it's like whoever you dealt with in the past had similar trauma wounds that you had in your household growing up, right? The roots where you came from. So you could, for instance, like say if you're like a guy, right? And you were dating a girl and this girl was just like your mom, right? In a weird way. Like energetically speaking, like she would do similar things or made you feel a similar way. And then it's like the cycle had to end for you to kind of have to go back through that childhood trauma again and find yourself, heal yourself, work through that, because it's almost like this person came into your life to trigger you, hurt you, leave, so that you can finally process it, so that you can actually find somebody that's going to be more equipped and better for you, but is also, you're not going to feel so restricted, because again, I think you had a narrow viewpoint of how you viewed relationships and how you think relationships need to look like, and now it's all changing and coming together, especially with that be courageous. It's like this situation called for you to become courageous. You know, you have to, for you to get back up on your feet again and to go back out there and date, or to go back out there and do certain things, it requires courage. And that's why I think that's why it's like that North Node there. You're stepping out of your comfort zone. You're actually starting to let things go, and you're learning to just move on from things that just no longer serve you. So we have here increase, sharing, reaping reward, overflow, expansion, flowing, encouragement, fertile ground, and abundance. You guys are starting to gain back your abundance. Remember, I feel like you guys waited for a while you were still building yourself up. You guys took time out to heal from a past connection that hurt you, that burned you. And now it's like you guys are going to start reaping the rewards. This is what I've been feeling. You guys are on the verge of creating something brand new. You're on the verge of going in and starting something new with different people. And I feel like this is going to help you become more open as well. It's almost like this person, it's like, for instance, like let's say you already had like a crack, right? You were already wounded. This person came in, they re-wounded you in the same exact wound. You had to take extra time to heal it out. But as you were healing, you were still learning about yourself. You're still building yourself up. And now it's like you guys are reaping the rewards. Now things are going to start coming in for you. And it's almost like part of this blessing too is you letting this person go for good. You no longer holding on to this anxiety about this person or this situation. So we have here following: loyalty, adaptability, cooperation, trust, reliability, sensitivity to others, service, receiving, and guidance. And this is what I'm thinking too. You know, maybe you've been around people that cheated on you, been around people that just used you, people that were not right for you. And it's almost like you're going to find somebody that's going to be loyal to you. Again, with this North Node, okay, and the increase. When you start to go on that journey on your path that is right for you, things are going to start making sense to you. Things are going to start coming full circle. You're going to start receiving. You're going to be reaping the rewards that you are gaining. If you've been on a path of you trying to figure out who you are, if you've been working on healing yourself every day and you've been trying your hardest to break habits, break cycles, let go of connections that don't serve you anymore, it's like the universe acknowledges that. They see that. And it's like all of a sudden things are going to start coming in for you. Things are going to start making sense for you. People are going to want to follow you. People are going to want to listen to you. People are going to want to respect you more. And I feel like you guys are going to be around loyal people. And I think that the people that are not going to be loyal, the ones that are going to be leaving your life, pile number 3. So we also have here duration, consistency, continuing, endurance, perseverance, maturity, strength, stability, and a deep commitment. So you guys are kind of on this verge of having a deep commitment. And this is what I'm saying, pile number 3. I don't know if you guys are aware or not, but your energy is just vibing higher now, right? You have overcame every obstacle, every mountain, everything that has kept you guys from achieving your goals. You are letting it all go now. Every day, it's almost like you guys are, I don't know if it's just because you're working on your habits and maybe you're just focusing on something, but because you guys are drawing your attention to certain topics and you're letting certain things go and you're just constantly trying to evolve in your life, I swear, a deep connection. Somebody's coming into your life. Somebody is coming in and they're going to be loyal, they're going to be committed, whether this is a financial partner that you're dealing with, like business-wise, this is romantic, or this is a friendship. Somebody in your life, pile number 3, is coming in because it's like you've done the work, you healed, you worked through this. And pile number 3, like I said, everybody around you, energetically, what they get, the vibe from you when they're around you is that, again, in the past you were really hurt, really depressed, but now it's almost like night and day. It's like you went from depressed and sad to changing up your house, changing your room around. Maybe you guys are going out more, you're exploring more, you're more open to possibilities, you're more open to communicating with people. And this is shocking people, but this is also what's drawing in the blessings to you. This is what's drawing other people in to you, because you took that courageous step and you took yourself out of your comfort zone. You released things that didn't serve you anymore, and you're actually healing through root trauma that this relationship that you dealt with in the past helped you release. So we have here dispersion, diffusing negativity, restoring harmony, circulate, dissolving divisions, and lighten up. So you guys are on that verge of lightening up. You're on that verge of releasing. You're no longer holding on to negativity, to anything that is too hard for you. So people are seeing that. And again, it's like your vibration went from really like low, sad vibration to a lot higher, to rising, to all of a sudden things start coming into your life and people are in shock. You shocked people, pile number 3. Especially the ones that really are around you and care about you. All of a sudden, it's just like you let go of this connection. All of a sudden, a huge weight is just lifted off of you. You're a lot lighter. You're a lot happier. You're more willing to try new things. And it's like you're a whole new person. So your energy vibe from really low to really high, really fast. It's almost like you just, either somebody has a conversation with you, or either you just healed something, or something ends up happening, pile number 3, but all of a sudden it's just like, I can let it go now. And it just made sense. And you could just let it go. And it just, the second that you let go, it's almost just like your vibration just jumps like 10 octaves, right? You're just right up there. So people are really shocked how quickly you just let something go, or how quickly you just changed really fast, because you're now starting to embrace the unknown. You're starting to embrace the change that life has for you, instead of holding on to a past connection that you know that was just hurting you and wasn't right for you anyway. So that's what I have for my pile number 3. That's how people are perceiving you. That's the vibe you're giving off. I hope that this resonates for you and helps you in some way. Have a great and wonderful day, pile number 3. Thank you. Bye.